Hello there, it's Wayne Robson again. Yep, another video. You've been spoiled. Now, on this one, it's just a few little sort of tricks if you're using Nuke or Compositing and things you can set up. It doesn't matter what application you're using. In this case, it's an old model of mine that I did for my kids about a year or so ago. It was never really finished. And I thought, well, it comes in handy because it's got a lot of parts. Now, one thing I am going to do is use this little script here. I'll leave it up so you can actually sort of see what's there. It's basically just a random wire colour, right? So Control E. Now, if I close that for the moment and just unselect everything, you can see what colours it is at the moment. Then I'm just simply going to do that, and you'll see that all the colours are changed, right? Simple as that. So what I am going to do, because I don't want to spend 6 million lifetimes rendering a lot of this stuff out, is just quickly add a wire colour to this. So we scroll right way down to the bottom, click on wire colour, simple as that. Now I am going to go into my lights in a second when this stops bloody serving. Right, lovely, that's that done. Just unhide my lights and go in and make sure that they're all turned off. You see there's quite a lot of stuff in here. Make sure the HDR is off, because I'm not interested in lighting for this, because I've already got a lot of these, in fact I've got all these passes that I've found on my drive. Right, just making sure everything's sorted. Right, lovely. So I should now be able to render this out. I'll just quickly check the resolution. Yeah, 1200/600, bosh. And let that do its stuff. I'll pause it for the moment, save a bit of time. Right, so if I go down here, we don't need the ambient occlusion because it's probably going to come out screwed up, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it does. What we're interested in is this wire colour. This is an old trick. I can't remember where the hell I got it from. But stuff like this, I should point out, I am not a compositor, right? I've worked all sorts of jobs, but I don't work as a compositor. This is just my idea of how to do a quick slap comp and make it look nice. And if you're a 3D artist, whether it's a matter of a digital sculptor, a model, or a texture artist, you can then take it into Photoshop if you're more comfortable. But there's some things you can do in Nuke that are quite nice. So I'll pause this while it finishes its shit off. Right, that's finished, so I can just quickly save this out. I've got no idea what the bloody hell's on half of this, because I've got all sorts of old drives. I'm just going to call that wire. Can't remember what file type these are. I might keep them all. Oh yeah, well that's bloody useful, isn't it? Right, I'm going to stick this as a TIFF for this. I'll use 18-bit, doesn't really matter too much. Right, that is basically the max bit done. Right, completed the end. Right, time for the Nuke bit. So we're going to rattle through this. I've basically got over here all sorts of passes, right, that I've rendered out. They're all very easy to sort out. If you've watched the last video about you know, how to use ID passes, then the rest of them will make pretty much a lot of sense. So let's see what we've got here. I need, first of all, we'll need that, which is, I'll just put that on there. Of course, I will remember which channel I am. There you go. Which is the PNG. Right, and that's the basic colour coming through. I'm going to bring the bump normals in, which looks like that. Diffuse filter, which might be somewhat useful. I'm going to take reflection. Refraction. Shadows might be handy. Don't need that. Probably need this. There's the wire pass we've just done. He says, looking through things. I'm going to show you how fast I normally work when I'm doing a slab comp, right? So if it gets a bit confusing, this is meant to be watched later on and slowed down, right? Right, first things first. Our normal pass I'm going to stick over there, along with the ambient occlusion pass, which in that case, if I put it on here, you see there's an error on it, right? Because there's an inverted nose. So what I could do is take that into Photoshop and quickly sort it out, but for the moment we'll leave it as is. We have the wire colour here, because if we look at this the way it is at the moment, remember that's the alpha channel, press A. You want to go through the RGB channels, press R for red, G for green, and B for blue. Press any one of those again, right? If it's blue, and you press the B again, guess what happens? That's right, you end up going back to the original render. Now this render is rather noisy as well, which is a bit unfortunate, but we'll work with it. So at the moment everything looks pretty much the same. Press tab key, I'm going to go put a saturation node in there, first of all, right? So this is what it currently looks like. This is an old trick, can't remember where I got it from. Saturation, bosh, down to 0. What I have now is like a variety pass, okay? So I can use that to colour correct or overlay. There's loads of things I can do. So in this case, what I'm going to do is quickly, I'll press Shift X to change those over. Put that over here. See where we're at. Now I'm going to put that on overlay. And you see I can bring a little bit of variety. I don't want to go too mad, right? It's just to add a little tiny bit of variety. Now, right now we have the specular over here, which is quite nice. Probably better than what we've got. So let's press M again. Connect it there. Change that to screen. Okay? Zero screen mode. There. So this is what it currently looks like, and I can fade it in and out. And I can say, oh, not bad, not bad. You know, let's see what we can get on this. Right. Now over here somewhere we have this magic little one, because that's the glass, right? So I'm going to do it again, press M again, put it in the crosshair, and we'll see where we're at. And again I'll press this and I'll try an overlay, which probably won't work because of course I've got a black channel on it, screen. And now I can just quickly try and get this a little bit brighter. Okay, now remember there's no colour correction on this at all. See what else we've got up here? We have this one, which is fairly bloody useless. There's shadows. We could try that one, overlay some more shadows. So I could put that on there, press another M, connect this across here. And yes, any compositors who are watching, I do apologise for my messy notes. So, at the moment I've got to check that this is using the right stuff. It is. Now, I don't really think it's much use in my case for this. I'm not going to need the shadows on it. What I may use, however, if I find the damn thing, I'll use this reflection one. The reflection one's quite nice. It's got a lot more reflecty shit on it, so we'll connect that into there. Bosh, like that. Put it in here, and we're going to go put it on the screen. We can brighten it up a little bit like that. Now, if you need to go through any of these nodes, just to see what will happen if you turn them off. See, I want to turn all those three off. I drag a box over it and press D. Right. So if we do all this stuff up here, we've got D. We've got a bit of a change at the moment, and we've got some difference in it. Okay. Now comes some more interesting stuff. Now, this ambient occlusion, I am quickly going to, which you notice I've called Dirty Bitch, because I have a particular interesting naming scheme. Anybody's ever worked with me knows that I would name things stupid things because I've got a crap memory, right? So, as a result, if I want to remember anything, that's how I do it. I give it crazy names. Well, that's not quite going to work, is it? We'll start again. We'll do that one, that one, that one. I'm just doing some really basic stuff here. I haven't got time for a load of crazy shit. So I'm quickly going to invert those, maybe zoom in, find some of these other areas that maybe need the same thing. Right, so I don't have my Wacom plugged in. The reason for that is the microphone is using the last USB port, which is normally used for the Wacom. Right, so I've got this in here, and I'll reload that. So now it should, you'd think, whoa, there's all sorts of crazy shit. What's happened with the alpha channel? Alpha channel is fine, lovely. So let's reselect all this crap up here. Press D to turn it on. Bring down, oh, I'm into collision. Press M, we want this, we know before we even connect it, it's got to be in multiply. Connect that up there, bump, right. Now at the moment we have a nice alpha channel, so we're not going to take much notice of this blocky shite because it doesn't really matter, right? Let's see where we're at with all these different levels. So we don't want to go too dark, right? That looks really bad. So I would personally, let's see, something like about, see, that's still too much for me. I would probably do it about there. Now once we've got that, we might want to relight it. If you have a normal pass, such as this one, you might not know how to use it, okay? I'll give you a bit of a hint. Press the R channel, G channel, and the B channel, right? So let's say the R channel, we want a light coming from that side. Very easy, right? I'll press R again when this bloody behaves itself. So there's, helps if we have it over the right thing, man. Tab, we need shuffle mode. Now shuffle modes always confuse the shit out of people when they're starting out. There's all these like little grids and shit and you don't know what's going on. Now what we're wanting is what's in red channel, right? Currently we have all this stuff we don't need. We're going to use this as a mask. So what we do is click everything on the red channel. So similarly, if we wanted green, stick all the green ones on. Blue, all the blue ones. For some bizarre reason you want the alpha on everything, you'll have the alpha. And there we've created another alpha, right? So we've got that there, and we've now got the beginnings of our pass. Now we could do a colour correction on here and add some contrast on it. Maybe not quite that much. Take the gain down a bit. I don't want to. Normally you'd want to fiddle around with this for a while, you know, to get it right. Right, that looks okay. So now I take all this shite over here. I hope you're loving my technical terms like shite. Got that there. I'm going to put on here another colour correction node by pressing C. So there we have our colour correction. Now you see you've got your little mask arrow, and that's going to get connected to there. Right. So now we've suddenly got that. Press this here. Now we can change the contrast if we wanted to, right, along here. Now what I'm going to do is just up the gain a little bit. And you'll notice how it's only on one side, and it does bleed across, but we've got a little bit of extra control, right? So we could turn that down on one side. I'll reframe that. And we'll just find something that's pleasing from a lighting point of view. I could redo the colours as well on it. But let's just stick that on a little bit like that, a little bit of blue, right? In fact, I'll tell you what, let's just make it that colour there, right? So we've got that one sorted, and we know where we're at. And that is all our things used. We don't really need this unless we want to bring back some of the green in it, right? Which is currently up there. Don't really need it. Pointless, right? So let's go back down to the bottom here, and this is our last one. I'll put a 1 on that. Then we need to write it out. Now what I'm going to do is just copy my path from over here. I'm going to open the file, both. And then we're just going to put outski.tiff, right? In fact, we'll try and see if it will work with PNGs. My last system didn't work with PNGs, which is a bit of a bugger, but this one sees it's going in. Then we simply go render, and we go, yeah, what do we want? Bosh. There we go, lovely. Right. So now we have hopefully somewhere over here our out. I just realised that I actually hadn't put the full path on, so I'll save it, do it again, bosh, bosh, right, lovely. There we go, and if I bring this over here, there is my out ski, right? Now one thing we want to make sure, and I should have done it before, is just check we haven't got an alpha channel on here, right? So what I might need to do, in fact what I do need to do, is to take out of here my alpha channel, right? Which is currently in here. We'll find out where we're at. Make sure we have this all sorted. Boom, boom. and we're going to merge that. What we'll do is do shuffle copy. Right, so shuffle copy, and we have this down here, and from this we want the alpha here there. Alright, in 2 we're going to want the alpha, and we want the RGB, and we better really put this on here so I know what the flaming hell I'm doing, which will probably help if we cross. There we go. So there's our alpha channel now sorted, right? So we can take that out of there. We'll make sure we have all this crap here in the right order. Put them all there, wash, and then quickly go render. Yes, wash. Now we have over here our outski, right? Now I'm quickly going to open up my last version of this. Once my Photoshop decides it's going to open the hell up. Right, there's Photoshop finally open. I will quickly put this one over here. Right, now you can see what we have at the moment. And I've got a simple sort of background that, let's just say, I nicked from somewhere. I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to check the channels. It hasn't put our alpha channel in. That's no problem whatsoever. What I can do is quickly drag in my alpha there, which would probably help if we did it properly. Into there, put it over the top. Right, now we know right now we have a bit of a problem with that, because copying and pasting ain't no worky properly. So I'm going to take that there and then do it like this and go, yes, right, see, now it matches. Lovely, right? We take it like that, go to channels and go new channel, right? There you go, alpha, right? So we have an alpha channel now. I can merge all this down. Control Shift E, right? Which will probably help you turn that bloody thing off. Right, so we have our channels, we have what we need. Then, if I take this over here, so I don't need to see it, put it in here, and go, yes. Oh, it's doing the same thing again, doesn't really matter. As I say, we do have our alpha channel. Get rid of that. I'm getting all sorts of crazy messes here, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to work around it. You better learn to work around things, right? Working around things is sort of cool and groovy. It has to be done. Now, the one thing I haven't done on this is done a defocus. So if I go back in here, right, over here somewhere, is the Z depth, right? So I'll quickly go one that. You know what? There's absolute crap on that. So let's put a color correct on this. Connect them to there. And then we're just going to put the contrast up a bit. Maybe take the gain down a bit. So I want to get plenty of contrast on here. So I've got enough to go from. Alright. Right. We can then take this across here. Do a defocus. Right. And use that from mask over there. So put our viewer on here. Collect it to there. Okay. And we can defocus them in now a bit, right? Now, at the moment, see, look, it's weird, innit? Because it's defocusing everything. Because what we need to do on this is just put an invert on it, like that, right? Now we have something that looks like that, and we can defocus it, and it looks a bit better, doesn't it? There we put it like that, and you can see we can do all sorts of crazy defocus shit on the background. We don't need to make it too much. It's just something to change things a bit. I'm going to take that down a bit. See where we're at. One. Right. Maybe need to bring that down a bit like that. Right, so now we've got a nice defocus. And we're all sorted. Okay? So I'm going to quickly write this out again. Just check that is in the right place. Yes, it is. Right, lovely. So, let's put our thingy in here, right? So there he is. Don't need to bother about the rest of the shit. He's in there like that. Bosh. Now, our dude is not sitting in this back plate properly, even for the still. Look at these horrible little thingies going around the edges. We'll ignore the bloody crazy noise. See, all this horrible black shit going on, right? Doesn't look nice, does it? Quick way of sorting that out is, first of all, I'm going to rasterize that layer. That does not mean turn it into a Rastafarian. And what I'm going to do also is I like to make sure that I put it all, merge it onto a blank layer so I know everything's set. Now I'm going to take this and we go select and we go refine edge. Alright, now refine edge is rather groovy. We need to show the radius. First of all, I'm going to put that at about there, right? Smooth, we'll put it somewhat like that. Feather, about 0.9. And then we go shift the edge 0.1 and see what we've got there. Right, so we'll see now it's got a nice bit of blur. Maybe a little bit too much, but you know what? It'll work for now. Press our mask thing. Right, lovely. Now we've got less of that there. Doesn't look, it's not screwing up. Now what we could do to this, right, if we want to be slightly more clever, is go to our blur, go to a lens blur, right, which of course is going to be fun, and try and match this, right. Now, if we take it somewhere like that, I want to make it, I want to eyeball it here, which is not ideal. This is another reason why I'm using nuke is a better idea. So you've got somewhere there, and you actually separate it out, make it look more like a DSLR shot. You want to be really clever. You could stick this, have a gradient in here like that, right? So we've got that there. And we can see a gradient from there, right? Well, probably better not use a radial one then, right? And then we can take it so it sharpens out. Now at the moment we're going to need to invert that like that, see? So if we go in here, we could go, I don't know, something like that, maybe like that. Right, so there we go, and we can fade that in and out. You've got stuff there without even doing colour correction. Personally, what I do, take colour balance, see what we can do with this. You might as well do some crazy stuff in here. Highlights, don't like highlights for that. Let's make them a little bit yellow orangey, like that. Shadows, we'll do a blue one like that. Take that magenta like that. Got our green back a bit. Then we sort of go. Now, we're not really finished there, are we? So if I hold down my control key, Alt key, sorry, go to layer and go to merge visible, it will create a new copy like that, right? So we can turn all this other crap off down here, right? So we've got just that layer. Now I'll duplicate it, and then we go to lens correction. We haven't even put any sort of chromatic aberration or stuff on. Now one thing I will do is I will slightly pin cushion it a bit like that, add a bit of like that. Maybe suit that a bit like that, because you know if I'm going the opposite of what I want, I don't want to fix where I want to add it. Okay, we add a tiny bit of vignette for a lens, and I've just realised that was all the other side, so I'll undo it. I go whoop, not liquefy. We do not want liquefy, although it could look quite groovy. Right, I'll drag this over here. Right, so these are my settings. It should keep them from last time. It hasn't. Previous Bosch, right? So I've basically done this a little bit extra, right? I'm just adding a bit of lens distortion in, right? That there, instead of fixing red, we want to add it. The green I'm never too bothered about. The blue, yeah. Now we've added a bit of vinaigrette like that, and we just go kaplosh like that. And there you go. Want to be really. You took a little linear contrast on it. Personally, I don't like doing that. What I do like doing is sometimes taking the contrast down like that, right? Less contrast often makes it look more realistic. Now bear in mind that's fairly quick to do. So there you go, there's a very quick way of sorting things out. And we could add more blur in it and make crazy stuff. But there you go. So hopefully that's been useful. It's just a quick workflow for doing some very simple compositing and a quick slap comp. So that's taken about 20 minutes. There you go. Bye bye.